I've played almost every puppet combo game, and I think that Day 7 is the most underrated and least talked about game that they made. It's definitely not the scariest game Puppet Combo has made, but it's definitely one of the better ones out there. The game has outstanding pacing and an extremely unique story. The game does such a fantastic job at making you feel uncomfortable by letting you know as little as possible about your surroundings and the dangers that lie ahead. This game could have done better with scares, but overall the game did a decent job at keeping suspense in the air and releasing at the right time. But I'll get into all of that and more in my favorite part of all these videos, the breakdown. I don't usually ask people to subscribe until the outro, but I thought I might as well try and ask while most of you guys are still here. If you haven't already, subscribe. Remember, if you want to change your mind in the future, you can always unsub. Okay, back to the video. The game starts with a character named Terrence returning from a late night in the office. On his way to the subway station, he encounters a stranger who warns him about the end of the world. Inside the train, he helps a young girl and has a chat with her before getting off the train. As he reaches the exit, he unexpectedly falls through the staircase and appears in the back rooms. Confused and scared, he wanders around the maze looking for the exit before encountering a strange mask on the wall. He removes the mask using a screwdriver that he found on the ground, revealing a hole in the wall. He looks through the hole and sees a corpse of a police officer whose blood has been drained and eyes torn out. Terrence continues wandering through the maze of halls and finds a small gap between the wall. He looks through it and sees a tall person in the other room, but is unable to determine who it is because of the dark. He continues to wander and comes across a little girl, who he tries to talk to, but she doesn't answer any of his questions. Before she runs away, she warns him that there is a bad man coming and that he better hide. She also informs him that she will find him later to show him a way out. Terrence eventually gets tired and sits in the small corner of a room and falls asleep. He has a dream where he's at his cousin's funeral. He is encouraged by his brother Malcolm to play hide and seek with him. Despite not wanting to, young Terrence eventually agrees after his brother calls him a chicken. After finding a room, Terrence goes to hide while Malcolm counts to 10. After a while, Terrence gives up and goes to find his family, but he is ambushed by a tall man in a black suit with long fingernails. Terrence wakes up from a dream and continues to search for the exit despite feeling weak and thirsty. He finds a change purse filled with coins that he takes and uses to leave a trail of coins where he's been. He also finds a wall filled with bugs and is forced to eat the insects, despite their disgusting taste. Soon, the walls and corridors start flashing and changing. He then encounters the tall man and is forced to run as far away from him as possible. Terrence manages to escape the man, but he collapses on the floor and faints from exhaustion. Luckily, Terrence is found and rescued by a hitchhiker named Sally, who explains to him that she was camping with her friends and that she fell through the ground and found herself in the back rooms. Both team up and start looking for the little girl in hopes that she will tell them where the exit is. After navigating through a series of warped rooms with bodies hanging from the ceiling, they get to the normal section, which Terrence recognizes as the beginning of where he first appeared. They decide to rest, and while Sally sets up the tent, Terrence goes to find wood to set up a fire. He runs into a little girl again who refuses to speak to him, making Terrence angry. The little girl runs away, threatening Terrence that she will tell his dad. Terrence returns with the chair he found. They set up a fire and have a chat before falling asleep. Terrence wakes up to a loud sound only to find Sally gone. He goes to search for her and finds a stranger mutilating and devouring her corpse. He then attacks Terrence, but Terrence manages to defend himself with a screwdriver. After a game of cat and mouse, Terrence ambushes the insane stranger and stabs him with the screwdriver in the eye, killing him. Terrence is sitting on the ground, hungry, thirsty, not knowing what to do, slowly losing his mind, and being watched by the mysterious man. Blood splatters all over the wall, hinting that Terrence is feeding on human remains. A woman is seen wandering the halls, calling for help. Insane Terrence, covered in blood, wearing a mask and wielding a screwdriver, slowly approaches her from the back. The game cuts to black as the woman's screams are heard. Throughout the game, you can see the days getting shorter and shorter as Terrence slowly but surely loses his sanity. On day 6, you leave the perspective of Terrence and witness what he's become over the span of 6 days. He's finally gone completely insane and has to resort to cannibalism to stay alive. The game's music reminded me of Manhunt. It wasn't really what I would call music, it was more like ambiance with dreadful tones placed around it. I loved how you could hear the lights buzzing in the ambiance and it would grow louder throughout the days. It literally made you feel like you were going insane along with Terrence. The game's music is all the same, which I liked, because it becomes more annoying after a certain point. A constant buzzing, then when you turn the game off, you can still hear it. It was a really cool way to make you feel like you were trapped inside of this game. The game was pretty simple gameplay wise. It was more of a walking simulator if anything. The game didn't excel in chase scenes or jump scares or loud noises, but it got me a couple of times. Like when you're playing as Kid Terrence and that guy runs into the room and kills you. Or on the second day when the same guy is in the back rooms with you. There were some scary parts, but not as many as games like Night Ripper, Paladro Massacre, and numerous other titles from Puppet Combo. So I can definitely see why this game was overlooked by the community, but that doesn't mean it should have been overlooked by the community. All in all, it's a really amazing game and it doesn't get the praise it deserves. And for Puppet Combo's low price of $10 for all of his games, it's definitely worth buying. In conclusion, I enjoyed playing this game and I definitely recommend you play this if you like horror games or Puppet Combo in general. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to share feedback or your personal opinion, make sure to do it in the comment section down below.